Hello and welcome back.
Hello and welcome back to Accept the Moment.
I said I would open it, Colton, and you went, that was not my breath. For the record, that was Colton breathing. I don't... Nope, that's our intro.
This is it. Yep.
What's up, everybody? How we doing?
I'm your host, Colton.
And I'm your host, Josh, and we didn't talk about this before we started.
Welcome back to Accept the Moments. We are...
Man, we're messed up is what we are.
Absolutely. So, Halloween is officially over at this point. Did you do anything?
Halloween is fun. I had the really hard class for our degree. Yeah. That test for the hardest module was on Halloween day.
Oof.
And everyone,
the most spooky thing that
happens. Really is the spook. I knew I couldn't do anything else because nothing was going to top that level of spook.
Oh no! I didn't even plan for anything. I couldn't even buy a costume because I was preparing for it too.
Yeah,
but
my girlfriend wanted to do matching costumes. I'm like, for what? Like we're not having a party.
Suffer in a classroom,
right? It's like we're not having a party or anything. So next year she wants to.
Yeah, I want to try to dress up next year too. I didn't. Usually I try to do at least something. This year I didn't actually get to do anything.
Yeah, this year I just was depressed and cried a lot.
That's what I was. I was a depressed college student.
Wow, it was actually
the most accurate costume I've ever put on.
I'm telling you, I didn't even have to buy anything special. I just woke up.
Honestly, though,
what sucks though is I'm still in my Halloween costume.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Actually, no, that test went by, and that's the hard one, so I'm good.
Yeah, it's I know the start of the semester starts to wind down about right now. In other news, Halloween is finally over, and it's starting to get into the winter months.
In other news, presents the same news.
Trying not to... Getting away from more depressing things.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, actually, today, I just got done mulching my leaves, which, if you've never done something like that before, it leaves such a nice smell in the air.
I've never done that before.
It's like you're congested after it. And
but it's a
first
worthwhile
day you
congestion.
hate it, but like the next day you're like, ah, yes, yard looks amazing. It's
nice.
it's to me
I'll
that's a
experience
sign.
That someday.
Oh yeah, it's like you're not too far off.
I'm not too far off. I've only known apartment life, so everything being done for me.
Hey, I'll have you come run the tractor one day, you know?
Oh.
My big green tractor.
Oh, man. I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
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 Are you asking me out?
Only on Tuesdays.
Yeah. Today's Wednesday, so...
Tuesday's the only day that I can actually do that.
Yeah, and it'd be legitimate. Yeah, that's fair.
Honestly.
But yeah, Halloween's over. It's finally Christmas season. Let's go. It's Christmas.
Okay, it's not Christmas yet. We have turkey.
Okay, listen, no. There's a distinction.
Hold on.
It is Christmas season, November and December. It is Christmas in December, and there is a difference.
No, this is how it works. It's January crap at school again. Halloween, turkey, Christmas. Anything other than
January?
That? Yes.
Wow, I like how the whole year is January, and then it's suddenly Halloween.
No, it's January, then it goes crap at school again.
That is, yeah.
Halloween,
yeah.
Turkey, Christmas.
Okay, listen. I'm not going to ignore the turkey, but the turkey isn't a month long.
It should
turkey
be, honestly.
Okay, I agree with that, but it's not. The turkey is like 2 days max. Sometimes you get a solid third day out of that.
Yeah.
But I think it is Christmas season, Colton.
The joy is not in the air.
Well, yeah, because we're still in our Halloween costumes, but that's... Oh, man. Well...
Depression.
I had to stop myself.
Heart.
I almost started singing parodies. I can't do that because I can't sing, but also copyright.
Yeah, right.
Oh, man. Well, I actually do have a story for today.
Ooh,
I thought about it yesterday, and I don't think I've talked about it yet.
Would you say it has any notes of fall? That was a bad pun on my part. Anyway, tell your story.
I honestly was just trying to think of something, and I just couldn't. Yes, notes. Flat. It is the notes of fall, because someone decided to fall in love.
Ooh.
Ooh. So I was in middle school.
Yeah.
And
as you do.
As I do, you know, I've known people that have gone through middle school.
It's honestly, actually, I've never heard of it before. What is middle school, Josh?
So it's the time of your life where you start the beginning of the end.
Would you say it's the middle of school? Or would you say it's the...
No, that's still early school. And I know because I'm 23 and I'm still in school.
The radius of school, if you will.
Yeah, you've got your diameter, that's high school. You've got your circumference, and that's college. Middle school is the radius. Elementary school is just the middle point that you draw the circle eventually around.
It's that dot right in the middle.
It is that dot in the middle of the circle. No, so I was in middle school, and I was in my band. And I'll give the TLDR first. There was someone in there who was leaving love notes for me out in the hall at my clarinet case.
Was it Jeff?
It was not Jeff.
That's honestly kind of shocking.
Well, Jeff was never there, so that's why it wasn't Jeff.
Yeah, he wasn't there for me either. Anyway.
So... that was a good one. So, no, so what had happened was, now that I've given the tilder,
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, really? I barely know her.
The Sumeri?
Yeah, the Sumeri.
The Sumerians.
Really? Yeah, so now I've given the Sumerian account of my story. Here's actually how this started going down. So when I was in middle school in my band, there was a solid 4 of us that were close. It was me. There was a main trio and then a fourth one. So It was me and this dude. He was on trumpet. So my band had what was beginning band and then advanced band. So you did your first year in beginning band and you kind of learned your instrument and then you went into this. Those were the names. I mean,
beginning band and advance. One advances, one begins. That's all.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. But anyway,
yeah.
and it was called advanced band, but no one was advanced. Everyone sucked.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, jokes aside, it's so the beginning was just kind of your basic songs.
It is literally basic, I would rather shove dirt in my ears.
So did you guys ever march or anything, or was it?
It was a concert band. It wasn't a marching band.
So you guys were actually a band, though. You weren't just a normal school band.
Oh yeah. This was actually there was a lot of people.
Yeah.
When the thing you complain about is you have too many of a certain
are we
instrument,
talking about 105 piece actual orchestra, or is
it was not
85?
An orchestra? There were no strings.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you could have an orchestra without strings. It just sucks.
Because it's not an orchestra. This was a wind band. Oh, well, there was percussion, but still.
A wind band. Was there brass at least? Okay, yeah.
I was thinking of you have string instruments and then you have wind instruments.
It's just a conglomerate of flutes. That's what it is.
Okay, let me tell you. In our band, there were more flutes and more trumpets than anything.
A flute-glomerant. A flaglomerant.
Now let me tell you, in our band, there were more flutes and trumpets than anything. Yeah. And if you know something about playing the trumpet, it is really hard to play in key.
Which I do.
Everyone else, yeah, exactly. That's why I said that. And with flutes, it's the same thing. It's hard to stay in key. So when you have flutes that are all just contrasting with each other, and you have trumpets that are the loudest that are contrasting with each other, the clarinet section was the best.
Yeah.
And the saxophones behind us were all right. Way better than the flutes.
Well, I feel
and the trumpets.
Whenever it comes to sound quality, it's really hard for clarinets to really hurt each other, if that makes any sense. They're usually pretty it's obviously possible, but I feel it's a pretty complementary instrument, I guess you could say.
It is, but I will say once the clarinet starts getting into its higher register and you're first chair and that's the highest part, and you start entering the flute range, that is when, if it's out of tune, oh my lord.
You're going to notice.
It is ear-splitting. But anyway, so back to the story. I got way off track. I was a clarinet, the one dude was a trumpet, and the one girl was a flute, and we all, at the same time, went back to beginning band to learn saxophone, and that's how we met.
Okay.
And we were the only saxophones in beginning band, so we were all, repeat offenders. And learning something new, you feel me?
Yeah, I mean, you were playing the saxophone, so I mean, you're already the worst kind of person.
Listen, I was playing the clarinet, and I'm like, I want to do another reed instrument.
It's literally, you want to play the clarinet, but you also want to play brass.
Fair.
It's literally what it is. It's like...
Saxophone is harder than clarinet. By a long shot. But anyway.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, so us three, and then the flutist's little sister. I say little loosely. It's like a year or two difference, but her sister. So that was our little group of 4. So when we started discovering these love notes, all 4 of us are going out in the hallway at the same time, and we're all singing these notes, and we're like, where did these come from? Like, and at first I thought it was one of them trolling, so I started paying attention, and none of them were leaving during class. Or at least at the time that I would find a note.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's not them. So it is somebody else that at least knows, hey, that's Josh's clarinet case. So leaving these like love notes.
Now, was it like on top, or would they like open it and set it in there, or like
it would either be open and set inside and then closed back, or it would be underneath the case. So I would pick it up to move it and see the note laying there. Usually it was inside.
That's so weird. Why not just come talk to you? Because I feel like that's like
middle
the
school.
Worst. Yeah, I guess. It's
Which
like
even then the band went middle and high school, so it could have been. Yeah. Which it obviously wasn't a high schooler, but it could have been. We were all homeschooled, dude. Like, no one knows each other's grade because they don't even know what grade they're in. I was the only one who knew what grade I was in.
Jail is but a room, anyway.
But I was like 8th grade at this point, though.
Yeah, I mean,
and we're all together, and I already looked older than I was, so that's why the whole band was, except for the seniors.
I mean, 8th grade to high school isn't that bad, because 9th grade's high school, so you're basically there.
And again, we're all homeschooled. Yeah, there's no real separation other than, hey, we're all in the same band together. So I didn't think anything of that other than I'm like, I know it's not the senior girls. Because there were only like 2 of them. And anyway, back to On Point, because so this went on for months, and I was really trying to figure this out. It was
Did
insane.
you ever like respond to him? Just be like, no.
How do I respond to them? Because it's not we met at this band literally once a week.
Start leaving notes in your own case saying, leave me alone.
Oh, I should have done that. That would have been cool. Like, who are you? Leaves it in my case.
They go to open it, it's like,
who are you? I didn't think of that, because I thought of everything else. I was literally
just leave one
like,
that says I'm behind you. They look behind them. There's no one there. It's just like,
no, I was thinking of like trying to master detective, like trying to watch who leaves the classroom.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, I go into class, it could be someone who just lags behind, and then that could be anybody, any week. So at a point, I just was like, let's just have fun with it. Why not? And it was the whole idea of like a secret admirer thing.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I just want to have fun with it. So, we just started like following the notes and kind of trying to jokingly Smith like, oh, who could it be? And like I said, this went on for months. And it was genuinely, it was kind of fun because
it was the band teacher.
Oh my god, no. But anyway, like I said, a few months, and there was a point where the notes started to turn a little bit, and it started really getting like lovey-dovey. Like at first it was kind of playful, like flirting a little bit. It started getting like, love your secret admirer, and it started doing stuff like that.
I was concerned about where you were going when you said turn. I didn't know if you meant like turn like Jeffrey Dahmer kind of turn, or if we're talking like...
No, I'm not talking about one of like my other stories where I went like real weird off the rails.
Yeah, I was just like,
this was genuine, just like,
I like the way you wear your skin kind of thing, you know. Just like, I don't... Okay, glad we established that.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But it was nothing weird like that. It was literally just like, sincerely, your secret admirer, like, with love, lots of love. And like from a middle schooler, I'm just like, this is getting weird.
Awake.
Yeah.
Sincerely, your secret admirer.
Yeah, and it was starting to get like, It was a little weird, but it was like real like lovey-dovey stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, like middle school me, like somewhere around there, like 8th, 9th grade. It started to get less fun and more like, okay, who's behind this? Because they're starting to,
at that point, yeah.
well, it started as fun. And it was still the secret admirer stuff, but it was still fun notes like there's someone here who likes you and, you know, that kind of stuff. And
so what was the game plan there? Did they think it was going to be like the movies where it's like, oh, he'll slowly fall in love with me?
that's what I think it was.
Yeah, and then I'll reveal myself at the very end, and it's just like, that's not how that works. Just talk to the person.
I know, right?
Like,
again, middle, early high school.
It's the girl equivalent of a guy looking at somebody for hours, you know, across the room, and then being like, eventually they'll notice me and come talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
Then the cops show up.
Yeah, exactly. And then as you're being walked away in handcuffs, you're like, but
I don't understand how my intense staring didn't work. I even had the binoculars ready. Anyway, sorry.
That's what it felt like.
Honestly,
It was kind of like, okay, are you doing this just for fun to mess around? Because that's what I thought at first. I thought it was a troll.
Yeah.
And then it started getting like that, and I'm like, either they're really doubling down on a troll, or in which case, if they're doubling down on a troll, it's like, I want to find out who it is because it's fun. And if they're actually, like, meaning all this, I want to find out who it is because, like, no.
No.
Well, at this point, I was, like, with somebody. It was a weird situation, but I was still, like, with somebody.
Yeah. But
so,
was this the really long distance relationship, or was this one of the ones in town?
this was a long distance one.
Okay.
It was the one where we had, like, met in person and kind of, you know, like, talked in person, and then she moved.
Yeah, so it was one of those things where she wasn't around, so the person didn't know you were in a relationship, or do you think
They didn't know.
Okay.
I've always been the person that was like, long distance never works, and then, like, the person I was talking to moved, and of course I was like 14, 15. No, I was like 15 then. Yeah, so I was 15, so I was 9th grade then. I think that's 9th grade.
Well, I was asking because I didn't know if it was like...
I don't know.
If the person basically had the mentality of like, oh, rings are temporary, or if like they actually didn't know they were single. Yeah.
I never talked about it much.
Okay. Yeah.
Because, like, as seriously as, like, a 15-year-old can take it,
yeah.
Like, me and her were talking back and forth, like, okay, can we figure out this long distance thing? So I was trying to at least make moves to take that, like, in a more serious light instead of, oh, hey, we're having fun.
You know, as serious as middle school gets. I mean, it's basically, yeah.
Except I do think that delved into some more serious conversations of like, okay, like, am I moving there? Are you moving here? Like, once that time happens, like, are we going to wait this out? And then we also had, like, fun too, like, sure, but it was also like, no, don't give me that look.
Oh, you had fun, did you?
Oh, yeah. No,
this is a family-friendly radio station, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's weird of you to bring that up with 15-year-olds, but anyway.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, there you go.
Never mind, now I'm uncomfortable. I forgot about that. Anyway.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to Accept the Moments. I'm your new solo host, Josh. Colton got arrested.
Got canceled again.
Anyway, so did not know that, like, I was talking to somebody else. So it was kind of like a fun little back and forth at first, like I said. Then it got weird. And I genuinely started trying to find out who it was. And this is when I started really watching, like, okay, who's leaving class? Like, I would go out, like, right after class, and after class started.
The stock.
Exactly. I know, right? I started doing the thing where, like, before class, like, everyone's in there, but right before it started, I would go check my clarinet case and be like, okay, there's no note.
You literally were using Among Us strategies in middle school to figure out, like, I'm going to wait in this hallway and see who doesn't come down.
Right, exactly. I was like, okay, there's no note.
Yeah.
So I was watching who would leave class, but still, it'd be a lot of people, like, going to the bathroom or just leaving because they want to do whatever. And I'm just like, that's too many people to still narrow it down. Well, one day, and this lasted maybe a month, because, again, we're meeting once a week, so it was like 3 or 4 times. Where it starts being like, I want to meet with you. And I want us to actually talk face to face. Because at this point, like, the end of the year is nearing.
Yeah, the end is nigh.
The near of the year is ending.
The near of the year.
The near of the year is coming to you. But anyway, so it starts being like, hey, like, it's time to actually meet.
It's time to meet.
And I didn't want to meet to actually, like, oh, hey. I wanted to just be like, it's you!
Spider-Man meme it is like,
literally, you! So,
yeah.
1 week. This is the funniest part. 1 week. The note says, because class started at 2:30 and ended at 3:30.
Yeah.
And the note said, meet me in the hall at 3 o'clock. And I was like, yes, today is the day.
Today is the day I get to meet the stalker.
So I'm thinking about this.
Yeah.
I'm going to build this time schedule for you in grand detail.
Okay. Yeah,
2:30, it is on my mind. Now, we're going through like 5 or 6 songs that we have because for the concert at the end of the year we're playing. So we're getting really serious at the end of the year, like ready for the concert. Like, okay, like let's get all of the stuff ironed out at the very end. And there are always like 2 songs that were my favorite out of the 6. So we started with one of like my least favorite. It was the worst one of the pack, and it is on my mind. And we're on this song for about 15, 20 minutes, and that whole time I'm like watching the clock every like 20 seconds, like I gotta be ready for 3 o'clock. And each minute is just so painfully slow. And I'm just like, oh, come on, I just want to go out there now. I'm just gonna say 2:50. So 2:50 rolls around.
Okay.
And she pulls out my favorite song. And of course, it's getting to the end of the year, so I'm like, yes, the best one. And like half the class agrees with me on this because usually we all share the same song.
Yeah,
and everyone's like, yes. I immediately forgot about the 3 o'clock appointment. It slipped my mind. And
well, she's still out there when you got out there, so you basically stood the stalker up.
Exactly. So here's the thing.
Which sounds odd coming out of my mouth, but anyway.
I stood the stalker up, yes. Well, again, I lost track of time. I was so excited for this song because we didn't play it the week before. I vividly remember that. And I was so disappointed. And then we played it. The next time I look at the clock, it's like 3:05. And you know those 5 minutes are a big 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Especially for if it truly was whoever was leaving the notes that went out there. Like, they're not going to wait, but like 20 seconds because their heart's doing...
Yeah.
Every second feels like an hour.
Eternity.
Yes.
It's like you leave your dog alone for 5 seconds and they suddenly come back to you like, you've been gone for a millennia.
Yes. So 3:05 rolls around.
That was a stupid joke, but you get what I'm saying.
Yes. So I look at the time and I go... Because at this point, we're switching the songs out again. And I'm like, oh no. And I sit on my clarinet and I go outside. No one's there. I'm like, oh, it was just 5 minutes. And I thought about it like we had just talked. And I'm like, oh, that 5 minutes must have been eternity. Or 4 minutes, whatever. And I just played it like I went to the bathroom and I came back and I was just like, oh, who could it have been? So I was really trying to think because I was so distracted with the dang song. I wasn't paying attention to who was up and leaving. But I remembered there was one person who left. Now, there is a part of the story I did forget to kind of build.
Yeah.
But, like I said, me, the guy, the girl, and her little sister. Now, the little sister was kind of acting like cutesy kind of stuff around me.
She was acting odd.
So she was acting a little suspicious. She was acting sus.
Acting sus, eh?
So I was kind of like...
Simp.
No, the whole time I was like, if I had to build it to be someone, it would be her.
Okay.
And that's who my bet was on.
So did you have kind of like an inkling before this that it was her, or was it just still like, oh, she's being weird, but it's obviously not?
At first, there were points where it was kind of like
okay,
going between both. where I was like, oh, it's definitely her. And I'd go like, oh, well, maybe it's not. Maybe she's just weird. And then I'm like, oh, because again,
she's just weird.
Listen, dude,
Maybe
I'm
she's
around
just
a
like,
bunch
oh,
of.
I don't know.
I'm around a bunch
You're
of.
about, eh?
I'm abound. I'm around a bunch of middle and high school homeschoolers.
Yeah, I mean,
Everyone is socially awkward. I was the one social guy, along with my friend John. I don't care if I drop his name. Me and him like built a friend group from the ground up, and I still talk to some of them.
John is so common. I dare you to find John.
I know. But anyway, I lost my train of thought.
Boo-doo-doo.
Do. Can you give like a commercial break?
Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Hey!
Okay, so now I thought it was a little sister. And by this point, when I'm trying to figure this out, as I'm like walking back to the room, I'm like, it had to have been her. There's no one else it could have been. Except when I remembered who had walked out of the room, it was the big sister, the one who was on the trio of our saxophones. And I'm like, wait, she was the one who left. I was so confused. And I was this close to confronting her about it. And I didn't. Because I was in middle school and I didn't have the balls of the kindergarten story. I didn't have
balls of the future.
I did not have the balls of the future, Colton.
See, any story like that, you have to just go in for the worst case scenario, because then you're like, you know what, this will make a fantastic story later.
Well, here's the thing.
Like, that's how I live my life, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Now, there were only like 2 weeks of band left and then the concert.
Mm-hmm.
The little sister started acting really depressed. Not depressed,
but yeah,
but
like,
really down. And I was like, oh, it had to have been her then, but her sister must have gone out there to try to talk to me or something. Like, because older sister was acting fine. Younger sister started acting like really sad. It could have also been that the near of the year was ending.
Yeah, the year of the near.
Yeah, exactly. So I never actually truly found out. Little sister never came back to band. Big sister came back, but she started wearing like basically no clothes at all. And in front of a bunch of middle and high schoolers, there was once where she got confronted about it by her teacher, and then the next time she just got kicked out of band.
So she just became one of those. It's like that one student, and it's pretty much that one student in middle school and high school that doesn't have any personality, so they try to basically get attention.
Yeah, that was her.
Yeah.
That was her.
Every school has them.
Yeah, well, this was her. And
yeah.
Apparently from me asking everyone else, because I don't know what happened. I did not notice her that next year. Like, I had already developed another friend group. And the guy was gone. And this little sister had left, and she turned into a little weirdo. So, and I had already, again, developed another friend group. So I didn't even notice she was gone.
Like, I didn't
It sounds
care.
so awful.
It sounds
but
so
from,
bad, man.
But from what I heard about everyone else, like, it wasn't just our teacher got, like, upset over nothing. Like, apparently she really was just, like, being a little slut. Anyway. Like, that's the extent. And I say that because that's the words that, like, I was told. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, that's horrible. That's oh. Honestly, whenever it comes to stuff like that, especially around middle school, I tend to gravitate towards what's the family life like. But that's a story for a different day.
That's a story for a different day.
We're not talking about serious stuff here.
Yeah, not yet. No.
We're not getting that real.
I'm sure we'll have that episode where we just go, listen, everybody, it's time for real talk.
Listen, we're trying to go for an escape from reality. We're not talking about, like, and this is what happens in the gutter. And
you should tell that news story you saw earlier, the title.
Oh, Diana out live hours before, or the man slaps attorney for...
Oh, okay, so the one was Diana recently discovered was alive hours before she died. That was a news title that you showed me, like, newspaper. But anyway, I thought that was funny to mention. Anyway, so all of that totally dissolved. So here's my final take on that. Little sister was the one that was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Big sister, I don't know, maybe they were alternating leaving the notes to kind of confuse me. Who knows? I really don't know that part. I think big sister went out in the hall.
What is this, like a big sister, little sister mafia ring?
It felt like.
Like, do they have, like, Johnny in the back's just like, I got a hearing problem. I hear you got a problem.
Anyway, I think big sister went out there to talk to me.
Little Mikey.
On behalf.
French horn.
What?
Nothing.
We actually struggled to get French horns. We had one for like 2 years, and we were like, you are the best person ever. Like, he was basically worshipped.
Yeah, French horns are awful.
This one was really good.
I just mean people.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh.
he was the one.
He was the chosen one.
He was the chosen one.
Bring balance to the French horn.
Yeah, so
Anyway.
that's my final story. I think she went out to speak on her little sister's behalf.
Okay. So do you think it was like do you think it was little sister, not her?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Because big sister never... It seemed like she was kind of like, liking other people, that kind of mentality.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of vibe I got from her anyway. So that's why I ruled her out right away. But... So that's my story. I wish I had a more satisfying ending to it, but that's my final take, is little sister didn't have the balls to talk. So sent big sister out. But after all those love notes, I actually have them somewhere.
Do you? Okay, so you did keep them.
Here's the thing. I started keeping them because I wanted one final read through once the year was over, and I forgot where I put them. And it was literally like I had them all together 1 week and suddenly they were missing. They are somewhere in my stuff to this day. I haven't even laid eyes on them since that year.
I have. It's just like it's the diary of whatever. Never mind.
Oh yeah, it's like a diary lost somewhere. You read it
like
2
the
decades
sands
later.
Of time have claimed them.
Yes, exactly. So that's my story. Do you have anything like that? Love notes or... We didn't talk about this. I just want to ask.
No, I don't have anything. Honestly, I never got any weirdos.
You're so lucky.
Not like that, at least. I never had anybody try to stalk me as a middle schooler and try to tell me that they liked me like that.
I've only had, out of all the people who have either tried to get with me or I've actually gotten with, I've only had 2 that are not weird, and I've had like a dozen that are. It is a curse. Let me tell you. It is not fun.
I had my fair share of middle school relationships, but nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
everyone did.
I feel like everybody does.
Everyone did.
It's like their middle school, little passing crushes, basically, is what it is.
Oh, yeah. Well, there was a lot of passing crushes in middle school.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it goes.
It's the beginning of your puberty. Everybody's odd.
Everyone's like, whoa, wait a minute.
I actually care. Girls aren't icky anymore.
Yeah. No more cooties.
The cootie disease has been cured. Anyway.
Or maybe it's, I want cooties. I don't know. The look this man just gave me.
Well, anyway, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for accepting moments with us today. I've been your host, Colton.
And I've been your host, Josh, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.